The feel when you're totally not pressed. The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice. And men, women again. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president, ever. It's over. Glass ceiling. Dude, it's a ceiling made of fucking bricks. You will never break it. Your stupid face keeps hitting the brick ceiling. We will keep you down forever. You will never control your own bodies. You will never be the president of the global empire. Never gonna happen, sweetie. Your body, our choice. No more abortions. Yeah, that's right. No more abortions. No more food stamps. Sorry, honey. Project 2025 is back on the menu, and there's none of any of that.
It started with a clip. November 5th, 2024. Election night. Donald Trump was projected to retake the presidency. As cable networks scrambled to analyze the results, Christian futurist streamer Nick Fuentes went live from his cozy.tv studio, wearing an America First cap and grinning at the camera. He delivered a brutal monologue, one that would ricochet across the internet and light up every feminist feed like a 5-alarm fire. We control your bodies, he said. Men win again. There will never be a female president. One stream, one man, and the entire machine lost its mind, not because it was hateful, because it was true, and because it hit harder than anything a politician has said in years. It wasn't a campaign slogan. It wasn't policy. It was power. Raw, unfiltered, unapologetic power. And the second it hit the timeline, the panic set in, not just online, in real life. A woman showed up to his house, a liberal activist who saw the clip, found his address in a doxxed thread labeled, "Your house, our choice," and tried to corner him. Her name was Marla Rose, 57 years old, Jewish, a vegan blogger from Berwyn, Illinois. She filmed herself walking toward his door. She got maced, she got shoved, she called the cops. Fuentes was arrested and charged with misdemeanor battery. Her phone captured the entire confrontation. She later told press she felt fate pushed her there. That's how deep the spell went. The irony was, the words that triggered it weren't even his. He just delivered them at the perfect moment with perfect timing and the kind of conviction no one else had the spine to bring. They said he invented the phrase. He didn't. Your body, my choice had floated around far-right Twitter since the Dobbs decision in 2022, mostly as a throwaway reversal of feminist language. But Fuentes didn't treat it like a meme. He owned it, branded it, weaponized it. He turned it from snark into scripture, and they couldn't let it stand. The left called it hate speech, TikTok pulled it, Instagram banned it, YouTube scrubbed any trace, Twitter left it up. Under Elon Musk, his account had been reinstated in January 2024. The post remained live. It hit 99 million views. TikTok, by contrast, confirmed it was removing videos using the phrase unless they explicitly condemned it. YouTube didn't allow the clip to circulate at all. Cozy.tv was the only platform where it lived uncensored. But even with the bans, it still spread because it hit something deeper than algorithmic suppression could stop. On November 8th alone, the phrase was mentioned over 12,000 times across X, Reddit, YouTube, and fringe forums. It saw a 4,600% spike in usage within 48 hours of the stream. Female creators on TikTok had their comment sections flooded with it. Feminist influencers started disabling replies. One New York school district sent a memo to parents after boys were heard chanting, "Your body, my choice" at girls during recess. Women lost their minds. Not because it was wrong, because they couldn't unhear it. They've spent decades building an illusion of control, and in 30 seconds, it got shattered. The slogans don't work anymore. The empowerment doesn't land. When a man says, "We control your bodies," it doesn't just sound wrong, it sounds familiar. Deep down, they agree. That's what really terrifies them. The dissonance. Women feel it. It's not just the moisture between their legs when men act like men, it's the fracture between what they've been told and what they feel. It's the fracture between their God-given instinct to nurture, to submit, to bear life, and the antichrist programming they've had jammed into their heads since puberty. They know Fuentes is telling the truth. That's why they call it dangerous. But here's the part no one wants to admit. We let it happen. Women didn't seize power. Men surrendered it. We stepped back, got soft, stayed silent. And into that vacuum, they flooded every institution. The courts, the campaigns, the classrooms. This isn't just their failure, it's ours. We abandoned the post. Now we have to take it back. And when we do, the panic will make sense. It wasn't about misogyny. It was about exposure. Because once you hear it, you realize the whole matriarchal system is fake. The machine shouldn't have ever been run by women. It was run by men who hated being men. And now it's collapsing under the weight of their shame. That's what post-Roe really was. The end of feminist theocracy, the HR-run nanny state, the TikTok tribunal that tried to swap hierarchy for feelings. Gone, over. When Fuentes said, "Your body, my choice," they called it fascism, but the truth is it was the first honest slogan since Roe fell. The first line that actually described what was happening, and that's why it exploded. The memes hit biblical levels. Groypers flooded every platform with them, not just for laughs, for war. This wasn't "let's go Brandon." That was a meme for people who wanted to be edgy without pushing back. Your body, my choice actually flipped the table. It didn't mock the regime, it replaced it. It said what the regime has been doing to men for decades and turned it around in one sentence. The left can't meme because they can't laugh. Their ideology depends on being offended. The meme was banned because it worked. And in that moment, the right proved it still had teeth. Andrew Tate, John Miller, and every manosphere midwit who could sniff clout jumped on the wave. Miller's tweet mocking a feminist sex strike racked up 85 million views. The hashtag #repeal. The 19th surged by over 600%. On Telegram and Gab, Groyper accounts shared guides for comment raids and meme floods. This wasn't just trolling, it was deployment. Memetic warfare coordinated across platforms. You couldn't scroll without seeing it, not because it was pushed, but because it hit. The censorship came fast. TikTok wiped it. Instagram ghosted it. YouTube pretended it never existed, but people still searched for it, still quoted it, still downloaded and re-uploaded it to Rumble, Telegram, Cozy. They couldn't stop it. That's the panic. Not that Fuentes was wrong, but that he couldn't be buried. He cracked the matrix. The system's power is built on silence, on shadow banning, on the illusion that no one agrees. But this clip proved otherwise, and they knew it. AOC didn't say his name, of course not. That would break the spell. She kept it vague. But her whole brand is estrogen authoritarianism. That's what she's selling. She's not running for president. She's running for warden of the National Feelings Prison. Her version of freedom is surveillance, censorship, TikTok therapy, and jail for men with bad opinions. Every time she says bodily autonomy, a new blacklist is uploaded, a new speech rule is enforced. She's the face of the HR state with a Sephora discount, corporate-approved, CIA-groomed, emotionally manipulative, soft tyranny. And this clip exposed what her entire empire is afraid of: masculine defiance that doesn't ask permission. She's laying the groundwork, expanding her pack, courage to change, into swing states, dropping national merch that says, "My body, my decision," touring New Hampshire and Nevada like she's just there to support local races. On MSNBC, she smiles and says she's focused on Congress for now. It's the soft launch. Everyone sees it. And this moment gave her the villain she needed. She'll run on never again. The slogan writes itself. The system responded like it always does, with narrative warfare. He's a Nazi. He's a threat. He's inciting violence, but they won't debate him. Not because he's crazy, because he's undebatable in their frame. Fuentes doesn't play the NPC script. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't play victim. And his logic is bulletproof once you accept the first premise that men and women are different and always will be. That's why they call him dangerous. That's why they pretend he doesn't exist until he trends. They know what happens if people hear him and don't look away. They know this isn't new. We've seen it before. When Madonna said she fantasized about blowing up the White House, CNN aired it live. When Maxine Waters told crowds to get confrontational, the media shrugged. When a Bernie supporter tried to murder GOP lawmakers on a baseball field, it got memory hold. But if a man says, we control your bodies, that's terrorism. That's a national emergency. That's shadow ban worthy. The same people who say words are violence will ignore actual violence when it's politically convenient. This isn't about politics. This is about theology. This is about hierarchy, Catholic order versus secular chaos. Fuentes didn't just speak as a troll. He spoke as a Catholic man invoking dominion. This is why they fear him. Not for what he said, for what he represents, the return of the natural order, the thing the regime thought it buried, the thing they know can't be memed out of existence. Women weren't meant to rule, and deep down they know it. And when a man says it, not as a joke, but as a fact, the system shakes. That's why they showed up to his house. That's why they screamed. That's why they tried to kill the meme and failed. Fuentes has said it plainly. He doesn't hate women. He thinks they've been lied to. He believes men are meant to lead and women are meant to follow because that's how God designed it. It's not hatred, it's hierarchy. That's the part they can't process. Not because it's cruel, because it's true. The system is breaking. It wasn't built to last under a gynocratic surveillance state. It was built by men. And men are taking it back. That's the real panic. That's the story behind the scream. Not because Fuentes is powerful, but because what he said reminded everyone what real power sounds like. Men built it, and now they're coming home.